a rock and roll legend.
The crazy thing about Roy Orbison is from 1959 to 1964, he had 21 top 40 hits.
He dies too soon with 3 young sons.
He had secretly always wanted us to be musicians, but he wasn't going to push.
Does he send them on a musical mission from beyond the grave?
And then kind of rubbed my eyes and then looked at this.
He said, I've got this cassette of this song that nobody has heard before.
Will this strange inheritance bring Roy and his boys together again?
Had you always dreamt of playing with your dad?
Always, yes.
Mercy.
I'm Jamie Colby, and today I am cruising into Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. I'm on my way to meet the sons of rock legend Roy Orbison. Turns out the man who gave the world Oh Pretty Woman, Only the Lonely, and You Got It, left his heirs an unexpected treasure and possibly the opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm Alex Orbison. Even though my dad, Roy Orbison, passed away in 1988, my brothers and I, 25 years later, found something that would help us realize a lifelong dream.
Alex.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm in Hendersonville, just outside Nashville, and Alex has invited me to a musical landmark.
Incredible. I can't believe I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. And the Cash Cabin. What is this place?
Johnny Cash built this cabin in the 80s as a getaway, one of the best recording studios in the world.
And the families were close?
Yeah, our families go back to the 50s when Johnny and Roy were roommates and label mates at Sun Records.
I can't wait to learn more, and I would love to see you inside.
Of course.
This cabin has been a creative refuge for dozens of major recording artists. But it's also like home to Roy's boys and a link to their late father.
What was he like as a dad?
He was pretty wonderful as a dad.
Born in 1936, Roy spent much of his youth in Vernon, Texas.
I heard that he wrote his first song at 8.
He definitely had his first radio show as an 8-year-old. He walked down with his guitar and knocked on the door, and he said, yeah, my name's Roy Orbison, and I want to play some songs for you guys. By the end of the year, he had his own show every Saturday.
In 1955, a fateful meeting with Johnny Cash at a local TV station sparks Roy's musical career and gets him an invitation to Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee. Not long after, Roy marries his childhood sweetheart, Claudette Frady. They move to Nashville, and Roy rockets to the top of the charts with a string of hits, including Oh Pretty Woman in 1964.
Was Oh Pretty Woman a game changer?
People loved the song. It really made him into an international superstar.
Roy and Claudette have 3 boys, Roy Dwayne, Anthony, and Wesley. Roy can't ask for more, either professionally or personally. Then in 1966, tragedy strikes.
Claudette and my dad were coming back from the drag races on their motorcycles. At the end of the ride, a truck had pulled out, and Claudette was killed instantly.
As a 30-year-old widower with 3 young sons, Roy relies on his parents, who live across the street, for childcare, while he soothes himself by writing and touring. Back in Nashville, young Wesley finds comfort in his father's songs.
That's kind of how I would visit with him, because he was on the road all the time. So those just always would go to those records and listen.
While on tour in Leeds, England in 1968, Roy's drummer insists he go out and have some fun. At a nightclub, Roy meets 17-year-old beauty Barbara Jacobs.
He ran into my mom, and my dad looked over and said, grab that girl, I'm gonna marry her.
The two fall in love instantly, starting a long-distance romance. Just as Roy's getting on his feet, he suffers another devastating loss. On September 15th, a fire rips through his home in Nashville.
Where was he when the fire happened?
He was doing the last show of a tour in England. He was showing pictures of the boys and how happy he was to go home. And there was a knock on the door in the night, and then that's when he found out.
Roy's parents and 3-year-old Wesley are able to escape. But his 2 older sons, 10-year-old Roy Dwayne and 6-year-old Tony, are killed.
Was it something your dad was able to talk about?
I've gone back through the interviews, and what he said is, if you look back and you're not a crazy person, then you'd be grateful for what you did have and not what you don't have.
It's Barbara Jacobs who helps him through his grief. In 1969, they marry and go on to have 2 boys, Roy Jr. and Alex. For now, Roy's career takes a back seat to family life.
Did he encourage you guys to play?
He didn't push us. He just left guitars all around the house for us to find.
Had you always dreamt of playing with your dad?
Always, yes.
As the 1980s unfold, the entertainment world rediscovers Roy Orbison. Linda Ronstadt covers Blue Bayou, and Van Halen Pretty Woman both become big hits. Then in 1986, director David Lynch chooses Roy's song In Dreams for his film Blue Velvet.
There again, my dad's on the forefront of some groundbreaking thing because David Lynch loved his music.
Roy Orbison is making a comeback. He's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with none other than the boss, Bruce Springsteen, doing the honors. And while Roy works on recording a new album called Mystery Girl, producer Jeff Lynne introduces him to Tom Petty. The 3, along with old friends Bob Dylan and George Harrison, start jamming at each other's houses.
Out of that was born the Traveling Wilburys.
Traveling Wilburys Volume 1 is released in October 1988, while Mystery Girl is slated for release in February. It's a milestone Roy never reaches. On December 6, 1988, he dies of a massive heart attack while visiting his parents' home in Nashville. He's 52 years old.
I was so crushed as a 12-year-old kid. There was just such a loss. There's no real way to describe it in words.
But those classic songs and timeless sound live on. Orbison continues to be irresistible to Hollywood. A year after his death, Pretty Woman the movie makes Julia Roberts a superstar, and Orbison becomes as big in death as he was in life. He also leaves behind something very special to fill the hole left in his young boys' lives.
The inheritance is strange, but the legacy is love.
That's next.
But first, our Strange Inheritance quiz question. What was Roy Orbison's first #1 single? Ooby Dooby, Only the Lonely, Running Scared, or Crying? The answer in a moment. So, what was Roy Orbison's first #1 single? It's B. Only the Lonely was released on March 25, 1960, and reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts before going to #1 in Great Britain.
Music legend Roy Orbison dies from a heart attack in Nashville in December 1988. He's 52 years old. At the time, he was about to release a solo album, Mystery Girl. Though Roy's not here to revel in it, he's got another hit.
From the outsider's perspective, this would be a tragedy that Roy didn't live to see the success of this.
of a song they remember their dad singing around the house, a family favorite called The Way Is Love.
The Way Is Love is a song that wasn't meant to be released. He was just saying it like under his breath, just mumbling it, tapping, so that was something coming out of him.
Alex decides this would be the perfect song to include. Only one problem, he can't find the tape anywhere, and what amounts to 30 years worth of material.
We do have everything cataloged pretty well, but there was a large pile of stuff that wasn't. There could be 5,000 cassette tapes, DAT tapes.
So you said I have to dig in?
I said, look, everyone, whatever you're doing, drop it. We're gonna go get in the vault and find this tape.
Did you have to listen to thousands of things?
I had been in the archives looking through everything for hours, and out of being tired, I had leaned my hand up against the wall and then kind of rubbed my eyes and then looked, and I thought, what is this?
After weeks of searching, the original cassette tape for The Way Is Love is sitting right in front of him. Filled with excitement, Alex calls family friend John Carter Cash, son of the late Johnny Cash.
He said, hey, listen, I've got this cassette tape of this song that nobody has heard before. However, it was an old cassette tape recording. It had tape warble, in other words. The pitch would go up and down.
The Cash Cabin's audio engineer, Chuck Turner, plays me that original cassette tape, just as Alex discovered it.
As you can hear, all the artifacts from the analog cassette, the hiss, the warble John mentioned.
Desperate to perfect their father's voice on such a sentimental tune, Roy's boys and John Carter Cash search for someone who can restore the sound of their dad singing The Way Is Love.
How far did you have to go?
To the end of the internet. John Carter had a meeting with one of our guys from Sony. I said, oh, we have this project and we're just going through these struggles. And he said, oh, well, I know a guy who's in Germany who specializes in this kind of stuff.
Did the German folks get it right?
They said that there was nothing they could do.
Your heart must have sank.
It was so heartbreaking. It's almost like a Roy Orbison song.
Is all hope lost, or has Dad left his boys another surprise?
Is it a coincidence, or are you guys playing with us?
It gave me cold chills, like, wow.
That's next on Strange Inheritance.
Here's another quiz question for you. Which of the following artists covered Roy Orbison's Oh Pretty Woman? Is it Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Ramones, or Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett? The answer in a moment. So which of the following artists covered Roy Orbison's Oh Pretty Woman? The answer is A. Alvin and the Chipmunks recorded the song for their 1990 album, Rockin' Through the Decades.
It's 2013 in Nashville, and almost 25 years since the release of Roy Orbison's Mystery Girl album. Roy's three sons want to package a 25th anniversary re-release, this time with bonus tracks from the vast music library they inherited. One ballad in particular, The Way Is Love, has never been heard in public. Alex hunts down the recording among thousands, but it's very low quality. And the brothers cannot agree on what to do next.
I wanted to release it like that. I like the hiss. Roy by himself, you can't beat it. So I had a little bit more of an obstacle, like what are we gonna add to this? Or are we gonna tamper with a masterpiece?
Are we doing good, or are we gonna put a mustache on the Mona Lisa here? The thing was The Way Is Love, the quality of the actual recording didn't pass the mustard on its own.
The audio is so bad, they can't even be sure what the words are.
As we were working on it, listening to the old recording, we're all struggling and writing down all these words.
Just when it seems it's time to pull the plug on The Way Is Love, the team has a breakthrough.
A couple weeks go by, and I'm in one of Johnny Cash's filing cabinets looking through song lyrics. And lo and behold, there are the lyrics to The Way Is Love from Roy Orbison.
Is it a coincidence, or are you guys playing with us? That's amazing.
Yeah, really neat. It gave me cold chills when I found the lyrics. It's like, wow.
Then comes a surprise call from those German engineers. Using a new supercomputer, they find a solution to restore Roy's vocals. Remember what it sounded like before?
So we took it from that and came up with this.
Wow. Wow, gives you chills.
Yeah, it does.
Now that they've recovered their dad's voice, the brothers are ready to do something they have wanted to do since they were kids. Record a song with their father, Roy with his boys.
I asked Wesley, I think we should play on this thing. What do you think? And it was one of those little pauses, and he said, oh, sure. That's, yeah, 100% we should do that.
Did anyone say that's a crazy idea? Or you're all in?
No, we were all in.
Everyone's finally ready to rock and roll. Roy Jr., Wesley, and John Carter Cash agree to play guitar. Alex will play drums, and all of Roy's boys will sing backup vocals.
Listening to it in its raw form even, it's magnificent. Fixed up, cleaned up, and with you guys added on, wow. What would your dad say?
The way is love. I mean, it's there in the title.
About to fulfill their childhood fantasy, they feel something they never anticipated. Stage fright.
My heart rate would come up, and I was thinking about playing to this big deal.
That's next.
Now, back to Strange Inheritance.
It's spring 2014, just outside Nashville, Tennessee, at the Cash Cabin studio. 25 years after the death of Roy Orbison, thanks to some cutting-edge technology, his sons have restored a homemade recording he did of a song called The Way Is Love.
Take me inside that room when you hear your dad's voice from the heavens.
It was just like hearing an old friend.
It was surreal, but also a familiar feeling.
As they prepare to record the orchestration and backup vocals, they get an unexpected case of the butterflies.
I was nervous the night before. I couldn't sleep. They had to drag me in to play guitar. That was like skydiving. I remember specifically thinking this is one of the toughest songs we could do. It's not quick, it's not technical, but it's free-flowing.
Were there tears?
Tears of joy, kind of. It's almost like climbing up to the top of a mountain or something. You know, there's just such a sense of relief.
Just to hear the boys, because that's the boys singing with their father after all these years, is so inspiring. But it gave us a chance to get in, be family, and
Just like your
spend that time
dads.
together. Yeah, because our dads were.
The 25th anniversary edition of Roy Orbison's Mystery Girl is released on May 20th, 2014. The box set includes a documentary directed by Alex.
We did a premiere here at the Belcourt in Nashville, and then we did one at Grammy Museum in L.A.
Wesley was like, man, now the album's out, like, when are we gonna do it again?
I can't even tell you how much it meant. This location is special, and it's Johnny's place. Johnny was our godfather and still is. John Carter is my first friend, my best friend. I think actually the parents would look down at us. We're still just kids playing around, playing the big boys game.
Hit this one twice.
My trip to Nashville wouldn't be complete without a private guitar lesson from Roy Orbison Jr., that is.
Okay, watch this. Open, open, and then there on the same string. Then you're jumping one string down for 2, 5.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I think you actually can do this.
1, 2, 4,
2,
2. Where's 5?
Right there.
5?
Yeah,
Oh, 5.
and
Okay.
it's got that little,
so
little...
1, 2, 4, 2, 5.
That's it. That is actually it.
Am I on? Oh, remember I said Orbison left behind other music and previously unreleased material? Well, here's the story. Back in the early 1970s, Orbison became disenchanted with his record label, MGM Records, and left. Some of the albums he recorded with MGM were simply shelved. Another project for Roy's 3 sons and his next generation of fans. I'm Jamie Colby for Strange Inheritance. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, you can't take it with you.
Do you have a strange inheritance story you'd like to share with us? We'd love to hear it. Send me an email or go to our website, strangeinheritance.com.